Okay. And it's preparing to live stream the meeting.
Yeah. Is there a link? Can you send me that link?
And just it's setting up your meeting for YouTube Live. Okay. Good. Okay. It's preparing to live stream the meeting. And just it's setting up your meeting for YouTube Live.
And so you have Kajabi closed and you have YouTube closed, right?
Okay,
now you have open as Zoom.
Now I'm going back and I'm closing YouTube and I'm closing I'm closing YouTube. All I have open is Zoom. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up the phone.
All right,
bye. Bye. Okay, holy smokes. I really hope you guys are on here. Now is the time. So I see what I did wrong. You know, it's all trial and error. You guys, welcome to day 2. It is 20 after 10. Good golly, Miss Molly, what a disaster. You know, here's the thing. There are some things you're good at and there are some things that you're not. And technology has this black cloud. I know it's sunny outside today, but it's over my house. I know it is. It is over my house. That is for sure. So what I need to do here is I need to somehow, I'm gonna double check, make sure everybody, oh, that's not necessary. That is not necessary. Okay. I want to make sure I'm getting people on here. I don't see anybody yet, but that doesn't mean you're not coming. So I want to share my screen here in just a second. As soon as I can see that there are people. Give me a second. This is what I needed to be able to see. Okay. Are we back? Are we back? I really hope everybody is here. I'm still only seeing one participant. Okay. Okay, I don't see any comments, but Jeff is typing something. Let me see what yeah, perfect. We're good. All right, let's get going here. Let's share my screen. And we're going to start here with this. All right, guys, big stuff today. And I apologize. It's 20 after now, and it's 20 after and you guys are busy, but this stuff is huge. So I want to talk today about dollars and where your money is hiding in your business. And something that I always, we coach a lot about this, the Retail Bootcamp and just in the hub in general, but it's so interesting when I talk to store owners because, you know, a lot of them are saying, well, I don't have any money to pay myself, or I can't afford to do this, or I would really like to reinvest in, a new point of sale system, or I'd really like to reinvest into something. However, I don't have any cash. And I always tell them you have cash. You just have to figure out where it's at in your business. Because remember when you got started, you dumped a lot of money into your business, or you started somewhere with some cash and you still have it. It's just now dressed up in different things, right? It looks different than it did. So our goal here at the end of today's session is for you to stop or have a better understanding how to stop living month to month, because there is money hiding in your business. There is, and it's just up to us to get creative and find it, right? And a lot of it stems back on us being what I would say lazy or just complacent, or you know what, just too dang busy to figure out how to find it. So let's get started. Where is the money hiding? First of all, First of all, guys, I know that there's a lot of you out there. I was this way when I had my store. And for those of you that don't know me, I had a store for many years in a rural town here in Wisconsin, and I owned it with a very good friend of mine. And, we found ourselves in this position a lot of the time, right? Where we knew we had money, our, our balance sheet, our P&L, everything, it showed that we had money tied up, but we didn't have anything liquid to use, right? So one of the things that we kind of started to do is really look and see where are we making mistakes. And, over those series of years of owning the store and then counseling other store owners and coaching and everything, I have learned that there is a big, big issue out there with business owners. I'm not just going to say retailers, but business owners, called bank balance accounting. It's not going to cut it. The BBA. You can't run a business by bank balance accounting. And a lot of people do it. A lot of people do it. I hope if you guys are commenting, I'm not seeing them, but I'm not about to mess with my screen to try to find it. I will go back and look for your comments and your questions later as soon as we're done, and I'll answer those. So take some notes. What we're going to go over today is just some, more realizations and eye-opening and how to on getting a little bit more control over your business now. So eventually you realize you do have control over the financial part of your business, right? And it starts here with this bank balance accounting. So bank balance accounting does not tell a story. It's like looking at the score box at the end of a game that you didn't attend, right? Walking into the gym after a game and you look up at the scoreboard and you see, basketball game 75-20. And you're like, holy smokes, that guy got their butt kicked, right? That team is not very good. Well, what do you know about the game? How do you know that the few key players didn't go down early on in the game, or that, so-and-so was sick, or whatever it was? I mean, who knows? There could be 1,000 things. Heck, maybe you're playing the Division I state champions, right? And you're like the Division V, just newly getting started. Who knows what it is? But what I'm saying is, if you just look at that scoreboard, you can't tell a story from that. You don't know what happened. You don't know the reality, right? And that's what bank balance accounting is. If you're the banker, or if you're the retailer that pulls up your online banking, or calls the bank or whatever it is, and just is like, do I have money in the bank? Yes, I do. I can still spend money. It doesn't tell you a story. It doesn't tell you what's coming in, what's going out. It doesn't tell you if those are legitimate expenses or if there's any theft or fraud there. So bank balance accounting, it doesn't tell you the story, right? You can't develop a plan. You cannot plan accordingly for going to market or a recession, or how to staff in the current situation that we're in. It's extremely risky and it's nerve-wracking. When I say nerve-wracking, you guys all know exactly what I mean. You've come to the end of the month where you're like, oh my gosh, I've got to make payroll. I've got to do all these things. Do I have money? I think I have money. Has that check cleared? Is it still out? I think I've got money. I think I can kind of rob Peter to pay Paul here to make this work. Bank balance accounting. That does not tell the whole story about where your money is. So cash is hiding in your business, but it's up to us to develop a plan and figure out those key areas that they are hiding, right? So I've narrowed it down to 3 things. And I tried not to take much more than an hour of your time today, so I'm not going to fly through all these things, but keep in mind, we do go over these a ton in the hub. We dive into this and go through process step by step in Retail Bootcamp. But today I want to give you some good, hard foundational pieces that you can run with, right? So these are kind of the first one you're going to be like, oh, wow, really, Sarah? But stuff. Yeah, stuff, just things. People in business spend money like people in life, right? You want it, you're going to go get it. Somebody else has it, you think you need it. You want to be Instagrammable. You want to be awesome. You want to be the coolest cat in town, whatever it is. But man, you guys, we invest a lot of money in stuff. We're investing in stuff that doesn't have a purpose, right? We're investing in things that we don't necessarily see an ROI from. If your cash is tight, we've got to go back and look at the stuff that we're investing in. And there are some things that really are beneficial to us, right? Like apps and subscriptions. But at the same time, I guarantee you subscribed, or you have an app out there with something, or you're paying a fee for something that you're not using. We just looked at a store the other day, and I looked at her accounts, and I said, what are all these fees? And what is this app? $9 a month for this, and 99 cents for this per transaction, all these kind of things. And I said, are you using these? And she actually wasn't even using them. And this is what she said, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Well, what happened was she wasn't reconciling her credit card statement. And what happened was month after month after month, these reoccurring $9 fees, 99-cent fees on per transaction, and just some subscriptions, and whether it was magazines or whatever, that is like, those are long gone, really not long gone, but I mean, that's not even the thing anymore. It's subscribing to different newsletters or subscribing to different tools, right? That you're not using. You should, you'd like to make time, you should, but you kind of did it and you forgot about it. So stuff, it's a huge thing. Supplies, man, I can tell you when we would go in the basement of our store, we had a ton of money just sitting down there in supplies, right? You figure I'm going to go to Sam's and I'm going to buy bulk of this because that way I don't have to go back. However, bulk of that tied up 20 times more in cash than you really needed at the time. So if your cash is tight and you're not even able to pay, you're struggling paying rent or payroll, but you have 2 years worth of toilet paper in your basement, that doesn't work out, right? So where is the stuff what do we have cash tied up in as far as pretty things and whatever, and all those, you're probably sitting there looking around your office right now saying, oh man, I totally get it. I totally get it. That stockpile of hangers in the basement, the racks that are sitting there, the slat walls that you are not using, whatever. I'm not even talking about inventory. I'm talking about stuff, just stuff. And this next slide, this is pretty interesting. This is, I pulled this off of opi.net, and, this is basically on a business with 1 to 4 employees. They spend $77 and $92 per month on supplies. That's just supplies. That's over $1,100 a year per employee on just supplies. That's a lot when you look at it when you look at it for your overall store, right? Depending on how many employees you have. Now, I will say, yes, we all need supplies, but there's a lot of cash tied up there. There really is. And it's just some of these things I want to talk to you today is a little eye-opening. It really is. So inventory. Let's talk about inventory. I'm going to mention inventory as far as understanding who you are in where you're at in your business, right? Because just an eye-opener, when we invest in inventory, a lot of times we get pretty excited, right? We see all these pretty things and we see all these things we really want to do. However, it's on us to move them. It's on us to use them accordingly. It's on us to stay aggressive with things, right? Making sure they're delivered at the right time. I want to give you a little bit of an analogy here about inventory, because when I talk to store owners and they tell me they have this cash tied up and they're just not able to make ends meet, right? We start talking about inventory and I start talking about the missed opportunities they have there. I start to think in correlation to a gardener, right? Stay with me. I like stories. So my neighbor over here, he has a beautiful garden, right? Come Mother's Day, he's prepping it. He's getting it all organized. He's getting his planters ready, all this kind of stuff. Me over here, I look over there and I think, wow, that's pretty cool. He's got all the really cool stuff. He's going to have an awesome garden. Come the middle of the summer, he's going to sit back and make his own strawberry jam. He's going to make his own salsa. He's going to make all these own things and it's going to be wonderful. And everybody's going to want my stuff because it's homemade and it's fantastic, right? This is what I'm thinking. This is what is going through my mind. Same as when I would go to Magic and I'd see all this pretty things. I'm like, oh, I really want that. And I want that. And I want that. Well, there's a time lapse in between when we want it and then the harvest of it, right? And I guess what I want to say is enter the hard work. Enter the moving of the pulling of the weeds, right? The hoeing of the garden, the organizing, the watering, and then enter life. Life gets busy and you start getting pulled in all these other directions. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I have not gotten back there to take control of my garden, right? And what's happening? Everything's starting to grow, including the weeds. And the weeds make our store or our garden messy, right? Well, think of this as far as your finances. Think of this as far as your inventory in your store, right? These things need to be working for you, not against you. And there's things within your business that are just muddying up the waters. completely muddying up the waters, right? So you have all this fun inventory, but then time happens and it ages or it grows or it maybe is not as attractive as you thought it was before, right? And you still have to do something with it, because what happens if you don't? It's a complete waste of money. It's a complete waste of cash. You wasted that opportunity to invest, right? I invested in a small little seed with the intent that with some hard work and dedication, I was going to reap my rewards and sit on my back porch and have salsa and margaritas with my friends, and it was going to be awesome. Well, then enters life, and all of a sudden, that reality I realize is very hard to achieve. Thus, with a lot of business owners and a lot of store owners, we end up investing in inventory that we get so excited about, and we invest in it at with an idea in mind, but then life happens, right? Life happens. Things get delivered into our store at the wrong time, right? So all of a sudden, that investment, which we thought was great, now is costing us more money, right? We aren't aggressive in our markdown strategies. We're not tracking our inventory. We have a lot of unsold inventory sitting there, aging on the racks, just tying up our dollars. And something else we're going to talk about here in a minute is the pricing strategy. This is a huge one. If you're looking for cash in your business, I guarantee you have an opportunity to make it in your inventory. However, sometimes we're setting ourselves up in the wrong direction. We're setting ourselves up to fail with the inventory we are investing in. Markup is key. It is so important. It is so important to make sure in our pricing strategy that we are pricing ourselves to win, right? Not necessarily pricing ourselves to keep up with the store down the street that's not even, she buys these, where everybody wants to talk about it, can jeans. She's investing in can jeans, and for some reason, she's selling them for $7 over what you paid for them. Well, man, she might be selling a few right now, but is she really going to be in business for the long haul? Is she going to be in business? Is she going to be able to pay all the bills that she has to be a legit business? No. So what do? As the legit business, we try to say, oh, I want to keep up with her, so I'm going to try to price my items more affordable, right? Next thing you know, we're going to price ourselves right out of profit. Unsold inventory, letting things age on the rack, we miss that opportunity to turn that into cash. So sometimes what we do is our garden gets too big. We get too many things going that we can't tend to each thing individually. And next thing you know, we've forgotten about something. It's gotten old. Our excitement is lacking for that item. So we're not excited about it. Therefore, our customers aren't excited about it, and it's not moving, right? So what we had an opportunity to turn into cash quickly in the beginning now is just aging. How does that happen? Well, we're not tracking our inventory, right? We're not tracking it. We're not running aging reports. These are huge things to be tracking in your inventory or in your business, because honestly, your inventory is tying up the majority of the cash that you have. This is where your cash is. It's not really hiding, guys. It's hanging on your hangers in your racks. And for those of you that have been through any of our trainings, you've been around in the hub for a while, you know that I'll talk about inventory hanging on your racks, that it's like your $20 and $50 bills just hanging there, right? Taunting you, saying, haha, you can't spend me because I'm just hanging around here aging, right? So enter your markdown strategy. Not having a true markdown strategy, not understanding the life cycle of your business. Like, when do I need to move it? When is it too ripe on the vine that it's going to rot? Right? That's a big thing. Beginning gardeners fall victim to this all the time. And you know why you can't find that very beautiful ripe tomato to harvest? Because it's been taken over by other stuff. You cannot even see it in the garden anymore. How many times have you walked through your warehouse, or you've walked through your store floor, and all of a sudden you've opened up a rack, pushed things aside, and like, oh my gosh, this is here? I didn't know we still had this. A customer was just asking for this the other day, right? We're not taking care of our inventory and presenting it in a manner and introducing it in a manner that's exciting to our staff to move it and our customers, right? And when we have those things that are aging, we have those things that are about to peak and go over that threshold of their life cycle, we need to get aggressive and move it out, right? Pluck it off the vine, whatever you want to say. But the delivery dates is a really important one. We have cash tied up in the wrong delivery dates. We really do. right? Because if we have committed to something and we've pushed it out and then all of a sudden it doesn't come, we have cash we've allotted for that delivery, right? And if we're not tracking those deliveries to making sure they're coming in, we don't have that money to go back and invest elsewhere. And that's missing out on an opportunity to invest here to make more money, right? So inventory is a huge, huge thing. Delivery dates, knowing what to expect, when to expect it. So you're not blindsided by anything where all of a sudden you have to take money out of your savings or take money out of your payroll account to pay for inventory that was surprisingly delivered to your front door. All right, let's talk margins. Oh, margins. I'm gonna just show you a chart here in just a little bit, but margins is huge, guys. Your gross profit margin basically is just your profit divided by your revenue, right? But the difference that in stores that are really cash strong and the difference in stores that are cash weak is in their margins. It's important to be looking for opportunities at all times. Somebody asked me the other day, Sarah, when do I need to start looking for margin builders? When do I need to start looking for doorbuster deals? Or when do I need to start looking for items to entice my customers to come in? And I sat there for a second and I said, ask yourself that question again, like say it out loud. I said, as a retailer, you want to look for those things all the time. Just because society says Black Friday shopping or after Christmas deals or whatever it is, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be looking for margin builders in your store all year long, 100%. So invest in inventory that makes you money. We have lots of resources in the Boutique Hub of opportunities for closeouts or off-price items. We work with the off-price show in Las Vegas very, very directly, and we work with vendors that are great to communicate back on items that are being closed out, or, this is a true seller for us. This is where people are really making a good margin, right? Because we're guaranteeing the sale. This happens. We have what vendors will say, man, it's blowing out of the stores. It's flying off the racks. It's whatever. Well, those things, you know what? I'm going to talk about a rule of thirds here in a little bit, but those true sellers, you don't have to worry about that as much, right? The customer is demanding that product, right? Investing in that, not tying up your dollars so much in inventory that you're hoping you're going to sell, right? Making sure you're taking care of your margins first and foremost. When you're shopping, when you're investing in your business, making sure you're investing in inventory that you are confident you're going to move. The risk, especially right now, I want to talk a little bit about the whole, COVID lockdowns, where retail is going. We don't know. It's very volatile, more volatile than it ever has been. And let's be honest, retail is constantly changing. If you like a job and like a business that is, point by point going to be on track every day, retail is probably not for you because it is ebb and flows, ups and downs. Somebody's always throwing something at you. Well, right now it's even harder. So as you are investing in your inventory, I really urge you to check out these margins. Where can you be making the most money, right? Where can you be investing that $10, $20 that you have to invest? And rest assured, feel confident that you're going to turn that back into cash. I know it sounds easier saying, well, I do that all the time, but do we? Do we really? Because what happens, and I know I did it when I had the store, is I would get to market and I would be like, oh, that looks beautiful. I want that. And I didn't think of all the things that needed to happen to go through to sell it, right? Just like my neighbor's garden. I get attracted by looking over there and be like, oh my gosh, I want that. Well, do I want to skip out on my 4th of July weekend at the lake to stay home and water it? Do I want to weed it every night and weekend? Do I want to fertilize it? Do I want to identify what those little bugs are that are eating my plant leaves? No. What I'm saying is there's hard work that goes into these kind of things. There's reason they're going to succeed and there's reasons they're not, right? Investing in too much inventory and having too many options for your customer creates confusion also. And you're reducing down on your margins then, honestly, because you have too much product. And then that happens to, onto the next thing, markdowns, right? And we get lazy with the markdowns. So as I talk to you a little bit about this, one of my other challenges would be for you to get out of your store, get out of your warehouse, get off your website and look around, shop other people's websites, go to the mall, go to other boutiques and look and see what other customers are seeing, right? because that is helping that customer identify what the new normal is, right? And you want to make sure that you are capitalizing on that. Being outside of the box, right? Being outside of the know, I should say, and not understanding what is happening at your big box stores, what is happening at your discount stores, what is happening at your malls, what is happening at your other boutiques, what is happening on other websites. Not paying any attention to that is going to have a direct reflect on what your customers think about you, right? So it helps you make better decisions. That's kind of a side note, just because I say that, yes, because I was shopping the other day. I went out to do what I call R&D, right? I don't have my store anymore, but I think it's really important that I get out and about and kind of see what's out there, as I'm coaching and mentoring other boutique owners. And I was walking through the mall and I'd walk into stores and it looked like they were going out of business. Their inventory was so lean. However, when I talked to them about it, and I talked to an awful lot of different store owners, they were really on the lean machine of their inventory. And then when I go into some boutiques, they're super overcrowded, right? Well, instantly my mind is working, and my daughters even said something about it. Like, oh my gosh, this person has so much inventory. How are they going to move it, right? And they tended to start moving through racks and getting a little confused. They couldn't find things. They couldn't see things. Next thing you know, a confused mind doesn't buy. So keeping that in mind, right? Keeping that in mind when you're talking about investing in your inventory. But next, let's talk about markdowns. In your margins, it's so important to not get lazy, right? So we're trying to invest in inventory that we're confident in. We're trying to invest in inventory that we see good margins in, that good markup, that we can mark them up, but maintain that margin. That's the difference, right? That markup is great. Anything you can do on paper, but it's the margins at the end once you've sold it that is telling you if you're winning or losing, right? But one thing I really want you to consider when you're looking at where your cash is you're missing out on cash if you're just doing blanket sales, right? Consider a BOGO versus a simple discount sale. Say 100 people buy one item each at 25% off, right? 25% off of $50. That's $37.50. Sorry, that slide got pushed together. And then 100 people shop the BOGO sale, 50% off the $50 items. If you run that BOGO sale, that brings in $7,500 versus the $37.50. Look at that again. So if you run a total 25% off, right? 25% off, the majority of your customers are going to buy one item. Now, if you run that as a BOGO sale, those customers are buying two items, but it's the same discount. It's still 25% off, but you've just disguised it, right, with some 50% off thing. That's $7,500. That's twice the money because you're selling twice the products, right? So that's a win. You're making more money. There's some cash. You're freeing up your inventory, turning it into cash, which is helping you pay your bills. These little tips and tricks are going to really help you if you start concentrating on them, so you're not living month by month, day by day, just hoping that bank balance accounting is going to show you some, black numbers instead of red, right? All right, let's take a look at this. I hope you guys can all see this. Okay, so this is a pricing model. This is about six pre-packs. So say your pre-packed items over here on the upper left they're $10, right? $10 cost per item. You're going to retail those in the first line. You're going to retail those at $20. So your profit there is only $10. That's at 50% profit margin. Now, the rule of thirds basically is saying over your overall inventory in retail, you can do a quick assessment of a rule of thirds, which would mean out of those six, you're going to sell two at full price, two at 20% off, two at 50% off. So take a look there, and you are going to realize that if you sell those at two at full price, it's $40. Two at 30% or 20% off, you're bringing in $32. Two at 50% off, you're bringing in $20. So your total income on that six pack is $92. $92 is if you go with the rule of thirds. The total income is $92, but the cost of that was $60, right? Because we go back to the cost, it was $10 an item and you invested in six pieces. So what you're actually going to be putting away is $32 on that investment. That's with the rule of thirds. Now, some of you guys might say, oh my gosh, I would never go by the rule of thirds. You're going to have items that you don't. You're going to have those tried and true sellers, but this is why I say it's really important to invest wisely and pay attention to your markup, right? It's very important to pay attention to your markup strategy, pricing yourself to profit. Don't price yourself to match and compete with that girl down the street that we were just talking about that's taking a $7 upsell on her can jeans. Nope, that's not the business we want to be in, right? Because we want to run a business, not a hobby. So go ahead and look through this, and this will be on replay, so you can come back and take a look at it. But then you look at that same $10 cost item that you're going to retail at $30, right? You're going to gain a $20 profit on that. You scroll that across, all the way across, and you look at your 2 at full price, 2 at 20, 2 at 50. Your total income on that $10, which would be that $60 investment, but you mark that up to $30. Your total income on that's $138 minus the $60 cost of the product. Now you've made a $78 net on that. You're putting $78 in the bank on that. So do you see just the difference where that cash is hiding? That's a lot, right? That's a lot. And it's basically you're going off of whether you're going to charge $20 or $30 for that item. Now, keep in mind, you're a boutique, you're a specialty store. You offer service. You offer education and entertainment, and you're a shoulder to cry on. You're all these things to your store owners, right? And they trust you. With that, there's value there. So if you are the store owner that's doing all of that and packaging your products up in beautiful papers and bows and ribbons and tissues and all that kind of stuff, and you're volunteering and you're donating to the little boys club and you are doing all these awesome things, right? Do you think you owe it to yourself to get $78 out of that 6-pack or 32? Right? So on that very first line, I split this up so you could kind of see it a little better. But if you look down to that lower box, how many units do I need to sell to reach X amount of goals, right? Of that $10, the very first line up there, the $10 item that you're going to sell for 20 bucks, to make $2,500, you have to sell 250 of those $20 tops. This is we're not doing the rule of thirds on this. We're just doing this at full price, right? Now, if you want to make $10,000, you're going to have to sell 1,000 of those tops at 20 bucks. You can do this all the way down. I want to go down to, just for the value of time here, I want to go down to the very last line. So say the last 2 lines, say you have a $30 cost item, right? $30 cost sweater, let's say. Now we're just going to retail that at 60 bucks because some people say, hey, I just want to be the affordable price in town. I want to be the affordable store, right? So we're going to profit our $30 on that. Our rule of thirds say we'll sell 2 at full price. So that's $120. We're going to sell 2 at 20% off for $96, 2 at 50% off for $60. Our total income there is $276. However, it costs us $180 to invest in that. So we got to take that away. Now, on that $30 item, we're going to be able to put $96 in the bank. Again, we're doing all this stuff. We're providing a service. We're keeping our lights on. We're actually paying taxes. We have a website. We have an amazing social media, contribution to society, all this kind of stuff. We're providing a service. We're a legit business, right? We want to be all these kind of things. So we have bills to pay. So now we look and say, all right, we're going to invest in this $30 top. And I believe, since we are an amazing business that does all these awesome things and we provide education and service and collaboration, and we're trusted, we have a return policy, we do free shipping, we do amazing things, right? We are going to be able to charge $90 for that top because I'm investing in a good quality piece. And I feel it's worth $90, and my staff is qualified to sell it at $90. So I'm going to make a $60 profit on that, right? Do my rule of thirds, scroll all the way over to the from 6-pack total income line, $414. We still have the same $180 investment, but now we're putting $234 in the bank. You can see right there, you can see the difference that markup is making, right? Where's your cash hiding? If you're not making enough money, if you're not able to pay the bills, because the bills aren't going to be cheaper just because you charge less for your products. They aren't. The bills are going to be, they're fixed, right? We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But this is extremely important, extremely important. So, like I said, this will be on replay, so you can kind of go back and take a look at that later. So stop living month to month in your business. Please stop living month to month in your business. There's 3 other things for a break-even point that I want you to consider. I really want you to pay attention to. Your break-even point is your fixed cost divided by your average price point minus your variable costs. So what are your fixed costs? We were just talking about some of these things. These fixed costs, they are going to be what they are, whether you are charging $90 for that sweater or $60 for that sweater. The landlord doesn't care, right? And your salaries aren't going to be much different. And your property tax, they don't care either. Those are fixed costs. They're not negotiable, right? So then your average price point, that you can do the math and figure out what your average price point is in your store. And your variable costs, these are obviously fixed, means it's fixed. They're like cemented in. Variable costs means they go up and down. They are dependent upon your sales, things like that. Their wages, utilities, commissions, those are just a couple examples. But I guess my point here, guys, is in order to identify where your cash is and to stop living month by month in your business, it's super important for you to know, what does it even cost you to turn the lights on? What does it even cost you to fire up and have your website operational? Not negotiable. It's not going to go away, right? So let's pay attention to our pricing. Let's pay attention to our markdowns. Let's pay attention to all that inventory that we're bringing in. Let's pay attention to I want those new chairs, or I think instead of doing a regular handled bag, I want the bigger Vogue bag with the fancy tissue, and that we're going to wrap ribbon around it. We're going to do all these things, which is fine. However, you can't do it with that $7 add-on to a pair of $20 can jeans. There's no way to possibly make that happen. So 2020 has thrown us some curves. It has, you guys, I feel your pain. I've listened and talked with so many of you, and I know what you're going through. I had the store through the 2008, 2009 recession, and I had, all sorts of different issues happening in our community with, rerouting of traffic and things like that. Nothing like what is happening right now and what potentially could be happening down the road. However, this is your business and you want to survive, right? And you want to be better tomorrow than you were today. You've got to get to know your numbers. And you'll hear me say all the time in Retail Bootcamp as we go through this module by module and help you really dive into that. You'll hear me say, know your numbers. And this is how you do it, right? We're going to dive back in and we're going to identify, where is the hole in our bucket? Where are we spending too much, or where are we not gathering enough, right? So we can make a plan. We need to have a good understanding of our financials, or else we're just winging it. That bank balance accounting, that's not a business owner's move. It's not. That's a 16-year-old kid with their first checking account move. We're bigger than that. So Retail Bootcamp, I talked about that a little bit throughout this, but I'd really like to show you how that we can make this work together. Everybody kind of labels me the numbers person. I'm not really the numbers person as much as I am, I'm passionate about it because I saw what it did in my business when we took a hold and really turned things around, right? I didn't make any of this stuff up a lot. What I'm teaching you is what I've learned and implemented through over the years, right? Stuff that's not negotiable. We dive into this in Retail Bootcamp and we bring in guest experts that can help you along the way. So as you guys know, Retail Bootcamp is our most in-depth training. I hope it's okay that I'm chatting with you guys about this right now, because I feel like if you're sitting here watching and you're thinking, okay, I get this. I need to do a better job in this. Where do I really start? How are other people doing this? What are some tools and strategies that I can implement? And you'll hear me say this all the time. It's not just on you, because at the end of the day, we all only have 24 hours, right? And we're trying to do 60 hours worth of stuff and still sleep, eat, and maybe exercise, right? And hopefully spend some time doing something we love. But Retail Bootcamp is a very in-depth training where we give you specifics and we map out a game plan for you and we give you tasks and we ask you to identify things throughout your business and we streamline those, right? And then we implement services that can help you. Here you are today. This is where you want to be. And this is how we get there. Through inventory management and financial planning. Those are huge. And those aren't things that you can just open up your bank account, look and say, oh yeah, I totally got this. Right? Because the more money you have in there, the more excited you are to go spend it. Well, are we spending it on the right things? Is it going to invest? Are we investing in the right things that are going to make us a better ROI, right? Quicker turn on our inventory for profit? Or are we going to allow that cash? We're going to turn that awesome money, that we love it kind of money, we're going to go invest it into something that's just going to sit there and age, right? Because we say inventory is not like fine wine. It does not get better with age, and nor are any of those supplies that you have laying around, right? Those supplies we hope are working for you. But when we want to go through your P&L and your balance sheet line by line, and we want to say, okay, hold up, this doesn't make sense. Last year we've invested here. This year we're way up, right? We're not on track, but yet our sales are down. Or this year, our sales might be up and we're super excited about it, but then we're going to deep dive in and look at your inventory. Have you quadrupled on your inventory, but yet your sales are just up 5%? That's a hole in the bucket. We go into this a ton in Retail Bootcamp and through our live trainings, and also through the modules and the worksheets and the guest experts. So when I say it's in depth, it is in depth, right? And it's launching, it's open now. So take a look at some of these amazing results from awesome past Hub members or past Retail Bootcampers. And it's so awesome when Ashley and I get messages from people that are saying, oh my gosh, Retail Bootcamp completely changed my business. And we're not just saying that, here's some examples right here. Being able to pay themselves, being able to pay their employees, being able to take their employees on a trip, being able to hold their head high when they do their taxes, when they sit down from the table with their partner, their husband, their spouse, whatever, and say, look at the business that I have built, right? We start at the beginning and we go all the way through some of the very advanced techniques. It is a program for no matter where you are in your business, who you are in your business. And what's so fun is you have lifetime access to Retail Bootcamp. So let's look at a few of the things that you'll learn, right? We talk about CEO mindset, planning and foundations, branding strategies, knowing your customer. I mentioned inventory management, financial profitability management, merchandising, e-commerce, live selling, email marketing, digital funnels, sales funnels. We're going to talk more about that in the webinar this week yet, but we really deep dive into these kind of things, and a tried and true implemented traffic strategy. And we also bring in some really awesome guest experts, such as our Jeff right here from Retail Bootcamp, or from the Boutique Hub, that is our marketing unicorn, and he is fantastic. So it is 14 weeks of group and individual coaching. We have modules that we release to you, as well as our workbooks. We go live. Ashley and I go live in the camp once a week, and then we bring guest experts in to come live once a week. We also have videos and checklists and downloads, all these kind of things for you. But the also really cool part about it is you have lifetime access. Yeah, lifetime access. So once you get on, you have access to all the new upgrades, all the new things that we're adding every semester. We call it semester because it launches twice a year. But yeah, the people that started 4 semesters ago, they're going to get to take it again. And they're going to get to learn from the new experts that we bring in, because retail is different in 2020 than it was in 18. We all know that, right? So once you invest in it once, you have it forever. Oh, I should say, yes, there are also some VIP opportunities if you want one-on-one coaching with Ashley and I, and you get a coaching call with her, a coaching call with myself individually, and then you also get a group VIP just in a small group of people with Ashley and I also. So that's really fun. Yeah, we have a good time with that one. So what is the investment? Man, it's well valued over $10,000, which when we start itemizing all these things out, it's wild what you get for this $19.97. And we do have a payment plan for that also. So that's really cool. Payment plan available where we can break that up into 3 installments if you're interested. So I'm going to drop the link in. I believe it's dropped in the comments already, so you should have that. But also you can email Ashley or myself at Sarah, S-A-R-A, at theboutiquehub.com, or Ashley at theboutiquehub.com as well if you have any questions. But yeah, we also are giving away some fun things with this. If you are going to enroll, if you enroll in Retail Bootcamp, you get the free boutique content calendar and the free boutique boss planner available. Yay! That's awesome. Those are bonuses. Really excited about that. But there is the link. And please, because I had some technical difficulties at the beginning, I'm not able to, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here in a second and hope I find all your tests, or your comments. I know Jeff and Ashley are in the comments answering questions right now too. But because of that black cloud of technology that was hanging over my head at the beginning, I'm a little leery about that. So speaking of that black cloud, I just know this is going to come back to haunt me at some point. All those, because this is all filmed, it's recorded. It's going to live with me forever. My pulling my hair out at the beginning of this video. But anyway, we roll with it, right? And ever changing, technology is changing, new things happening all the time. And Retail Bootcamp, we advance that all the time. We're adding a ton of new content to it and introducing brand new ideas, challenges, exciting things happening, obviously opening our eyes to 2020 and what it's going to look like going forward. And this is information that Ashley and I and the team gather from industry experts, and we want to bring them right to you. So the best way we can do that is in our group coaching calls with you and the strategic planning calls that we have. So that's awesome. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. I'll be very honest. When I had my store, when I first started retail, oh man, I wish there would have been a Retail Bootcamp to come into, because not only do I feel like Ashley and I bring a lot to the table with what we know, you're in there with hundreds of other retailers from across the country that you're learning from. So we only take a limited amount of seats every semester, right? Because we're adding to who's already into the course, right? Because we want that lifetime access. So we want to make sure we continue to grant you that. So we do have just limited seats available. And I know the waiting list or the enrollment list, yeah, it's getting large right now. But it's not too late to enroll. You can do that today. But guys, honestly, somebody asked me, if you had an extra $5,000 right now, where would you invest it in your business? And I said 100% education, 100% education, because you know what you know, right? That's it. You don't know what you don't know. And there are people out there that are right now doing absolutely nothing but analyzing sales forecasts. They're doing nothing but analyzing sales funnels and strategies and Facebook ads and all these kind of things. And you know what you're doing? You're busy working, which you should be, right? So you don't have time to go dive in and research every little thing all on your own and hope you've got it right. That's why we want to bring all that stuff collectively to you. We want to make it easy. If you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. I'm all about the easy button, because dang it, your lives are busy. You're busy doing your boutique stuff, your life stuff, right? Let us do all the research and development and bring all the strategies and ideas back to you and put them together in a way that you can learn from. So that's what we did. That's why we created Retail Bootcamp, because we love it too. It's a lot of fun. And we love to see our stores grow. That's our biggest thing. So that being said, I'm going to try to stop sharing my screen now. I'm going to see if I can see the comments from, where are we at? Oh, there we go. No, that's not it. Okay. Well, that being said, I'm jumping into Slack. Ashley's last message to me said, go. So I hope it went. I hope everything's good. Guys, man, this is bumming me out that I'm not able to see these comments, because I really hope it worked. I really hope it did. We're gonna cross our fingers that it did. But y'all, message me. Honestly, one of the easiest ways to message me is on Facebook, because I see those things right away. Emails, sometimes, who knows? Sometimes those can get lost. But message me on Facebook. Say, hey, Sarah, I shot you an email. So I will make sure to go look for it. So Sarah at theboutiquehub.com. That's that. Guys, stop living month to month in your business. Take control. Take a look at those. Take a look at those expenses that you have. Take a look at your supplies. Take a look at your inventory. take a really good look at your pricing strategy, right? There's money hiding there. There is money hiding there. Ooh, I think I just saw, did it pop back up? Yes. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Oh, good. Oh, Pooja, you're welcome. Man, I hope this worked. I am, my customers aren't confused, but I can see how you may have that with yours. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and look through things. Gotcha. Yes, they're great. These are some really good comments. I feel like I'm gonna have to go back through the beginning. Your inventory, move your inventory, figure out a way to get crafty, avoid those blanket sales, guys, avoid those blanket sales, because they honestly are training your customer to buy those one items, right? You're allowing them, you're inviting them to buy one item at a time, right? BOGO sales, try them. If you have not tried them, we're seeing really good results at that. Let's see. Can you please remind us of the off-price website? Yeah, Kim, if you just Google off-price Las Vegas, and they are actually going to be having a virtual show this fall. So that's really exciting. Definitely missing too many investing opportunities. Man, Christy, that is the case. When I had the store and I watched so many store owners do this, I've watched so many store owners do this, that they can't take any money out of their accounts because they have no money. They can't take any money out of their inventory to go invest in new because it's just hanging there and aging, because you can't spend inventory. You can only spend cash, right? So many times this happens. So many times. Let's see. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed these. These webinars are fun. Yes, you will be able to watch the playback. I struggle with not ordering enough at the right time and moving inventory that's been sitting for a few weeks. Okay, so Amber, I don't know if you're still watching, but that is a real struggle. And not getting your inventory in at the right time was part of where your cash is tied up at. Here's my tip on that. Analyze what you need and get an open to buy plan. We talk a ton about open to buy plans in Retail Bootcamp. We really dive into that. But here's the thing, just because the vendor says that'll ship the end of the month, don't say okay. Don't say okay. No, say, sir, what do you have that you can ship me next week? What do you have that can ship me right now? And then give a closing date on that. And if they don't meet that closing date, cancel it, right? You've got to take control of your inventory. Don't just go off of what the vendor says they're going to do, right? It has got to be in your plan. It has got to fall into this window, because if you're going to take $100, if you're going to take $10,000, it doesn't matter. And you're going to set that aside for inventory, it certainly better be there when it's supposed to be there, so you can take that $100 and reinvest it back, right? Otherwise, what happens is it just sits there and you have to be accountable for that $100 for inventory or $10,000, right? But if it doesn't show up, it's still just costing you that money because you can't use it for anything else. So I'm big about having open communication with your vendors. If it's not here when it says it's going to be here, call them. Make a plan to get it there as fast as you can, or else cut it and reinvest it somewhere else. That's huge. So overstocked inventory, I will say, is one of the biggest issues with store owners. And that's what I was saying when I was going around shopping the other day. It seems like the big box stores, the discount stores, their inventory is very lean right now. Retailers in general, very lean right now. Boutique owners, what I'm seeing is the inventory is very high. I'm going to contribute that to one thing. Those big box stores, those bigger discount stores, they have an inventory planner. They have somebody in an office somewhere that does nothing but crunch their numbers, and they're telling them, don't do it. They're telling them, don't invest in more inventory, or you've got to move this now, or this has to go in this placement, or whatever it is. They have somebody telling you all these things you have to do. You as a boutique owner, you're treading water so fast trying to keep your head above water. You're not making the best, wisest decisions for your business to move out that old inventory. And what you tend to do is, if somebody doesn't buying something, you go buy something else to bring it in, because you assume the reason they're not buying from you is because they didn't like your inventory. And that's not true. That is not true. We go into that a whole lot more in Retail Bootcamp. But just because your inventory is sitting there, it's not because the customers didn't like it. That's not it. The majority of the time, it's because of the way you offered it, presented it, had it delivered, and just got lazy with it. And you tend to assume you need to buy new. So, like I said, we go into that a whole lot more. The open to buy plan and strategy, knowing what you need to have, when you need to have it, at what price point. That's a science. Open to buy planning. That's module 3 and 4. We actually put that into 2 modules this time because it's so big. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I think I will go back through here and look at these comments. Again, from the bottom of my heart, I apologize of the disaster of the beginning of getting this on here. Yes, okay. All right. Great comments. I love it. Shopify, inventory reporting on Shopify, real quick, guys. We go into this a lot more too, but inventory reporting, I look for Delirious Profit, Shopventory, or Inventory Planner. 3 apps, not extra stuff to pay for, definitely an investment. So, okay, guys, I'm out. Thank you.